In this example, looks like we have a nice one-step equation where we have this k, some unknown number, that has been multiplied by negative 0.09, and when I do this multiplication, I get 8.1. So we're trying to solve for this unknown value k, and since we know that this number has been multiplied by k, we can undo that multiplication in order to isolate our variable by doing division. So we know that division is the inverse operation to multiplication. So let's go ahead and divide both sides of our equation by negative 0.09. And we can do this using the division property of equality, which says that if I divide one side of the equation by a number, I need to also do that to the other side so I can keep everything nice and equal. Okay, so on the left side, this is pretty easy because the negatives cancel and the 0.09s cancel as well. So I'm left with just my k. So k equals. And so now I need to contend with this right side. All right, so we have a fraction, but in this fraction, our numerator and our denominator actually are both decimals. So how can we do this division without grabbing a calculator? Okay, so I notice this is kind of like an 81 almost. And I know that 81 and 9, that'll divide nicely, but I need to figure out the decimal business. So it looks like in the numerator, there's a single decimal digit, 0.1. In the denominator, however, I have two decimal digits. I have this 0 and this 9. Obviously, 2 is more than 1. So I'm going to focus on the two decimal digits first. So my decimal is here. So in order to make this number no longer a decimal, I need to move the decimal point once, twice. Okay? So remember that powers of 10 or multiplication by tens will move the decimal point to the right. So what I'm going to do here is multiply by 100, or 10 squared, since I'm moving the decimal point over twice. But whatever I do to the denominator, I need to also do to the numerator. So let's multiply the top by 100. So I'll move this decimal point once, twice. But you'll notice, though, there's nothing here. So I need to fill this with a 0 right there to make sure we have a value in that spot. So what it looks like now is this decimal digit has been moved over twice, so I have 810 in the numerator, and the denominator then, my decimal's here, so it looks like the denominator is negative 9. Okay, so instead of having this 8.1 divided by negative 0.09, which was a little confusing, I went ahead and multiplied the top and the bottom of the fraction by 100 each, which moved the decimal point so I could go ahead and more cleanly do this division. So 810 divided by 9 is going to be, well, 90, and then a positive divided by a negative makes a negative. So we can see that our value of k is going to be negative 90, which we say now, negative 0.09 times negative 90 will indeed make positive 8.1.